Alright guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Chris. Folks call me Critter. Today we're here at Vi Powersports for something a little different on the channel. Something we've not done before. Today, I'm picking up a bike for review. So stick around, that could be kind of cool. You guys want to know what bike it is? Let me show you. That's right. Huge shout out to Norm at VI Honda. He's letting me take the brand new Transalp out for a few days for an extended test. So this should be fun. I'm excited. A quick little 15-minute ride, and what are my first impressions? I like the pull in it. It has lots of pull on the throttle. I wouldn't say it's a crazy scary amount of power. Oh, it's Halloween, by the way. I wouldn't say it's crazy power, but it definitely is obviously a lot more pull than the CRF. It feels solid. It's a very solid bike. There's not a lot of rattles, not a lot of noise, hardly any actually, like vibration noise. Feels very smooth, very planted on the road. Doesn't feel very heavy at all. It feels really nimble actually. First time with a quick shifter. I think I like quick shifters. My only thing that I really noticed so far is the throttle body is really wiggly. Like that's really loose. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs. You know, if I really notice that when I'm off-road as well, because I do plan to take this off-road. Yeah, that's about it for now. So first 15 minutes, I like it. Yesterday's riding in true GoPro fashion, I didn't record any audio. Yeah, I'll try and remember some of my first impressions from yesterday. So overall, this bike is incredibly balanced. Like, wow, it feels to me anyways like it carries all of its weight way down low. Like it really does. It feels super planted on the road. Super planted. Very, very, very easy to ride. Very confidence inspiring. There's not a lot that will scare you on this bike. So really great bike for anyone looking to get into motorcycling that you know, wants the extra CCs there. Yeah, we'll just get off the highway for a bit onto this little twisty country road, and yeah, that little stretch of highway I just did. Obviously, she's a 750. This bike has more than enough jam to keep up with highway speed. Very capable highway machine, very capable. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the stock exhaust note's pretty sweet. I like that. That's one thing I noticed yesterday when I did put it into sport for a minute. In sport mode, it changes the exhaust note. I thought that was pretty interesting. It really gives it a good growl. This bike here, I mean, definitely wouldn't mind owning it, to tell you the truth. I wouldn't mind owning it at all. It needs to be customized and personalized a little bit with said protection that I mentioned earlier. But yeah,
A lot of fun, this bike. A lot of fun. So something I'm beginning to notice is the bike likes to stay in the higher revs. Around 4,000 and above is where it's most happy. Anything below that, so third gear, 40k, 2.5 grand on the RPMs, and she's chugging. It's chugging. It's like almost third is too high of a gear, and then if I drop it down to second, well, that's too low of a gear. So it definitely prefers the higher RPM. Alright guys, here we are. It is 7:11 in the AM, and today is dirt day. Let's go get to the dirt, and we'll see how this thing does on the Forest Service roads. So this road's fairly bumpy. You can see it's pretty well used. Fairly bumpy. I am noticing in the gravel, or on the gravel with the bumps, that's when the Transalp shows her weight. You know it's a heavier bike. Well, especially for me coming from the CRF, right? You're not floating over bumps. Now, part of that is suspension. Obviously, the other part is weight. But there's been a couple of jars that they were kind of bouncy. So you can definitely feel it. And I've been trying to glance down at the instrument cluster as I've been riding, and I noticed the traction control is flashing like crazy every now and again, and that's just when the computer is trying to do its part to keep me upright. Really capable bike off-road. I don't feel hesitant at all. I don't feel leery. I don't feel anxious. I feel quite capable. The only thing I am is cautious right now because A, the bike's not mine. B, there is no skid plate, and C, they're not really greatest tires in the world for off-road. I've been finding that out. They're pretty washy. A couple of corners, especially like up here, I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty marbly. I gotta sort of expect that front end to start dancing around. So definitely new tires would be recommended if you're going to do this thing off-road, and obviously a skid plate for that, all the pipes and oil sump and everything that's down underneath me. And for me personally, maybe it's just because I'm so old school, I don't know. Off-road, I think I prefer not to have the quick shift. I like being able to work the bike. I like my foot. I like my fingers on the clutch. I like to have that control right there. I can see the definite advantages to a quick shifter for sure. It's one less thing to worry about. Definitely harder to modulate your power delivery. In fact, impossible, because the quick shifter, you're throttle on all the way and up the gears you go. But she's really comfortable off-road, really comfortable. So yeah, probably not your standard review video. All the techs and specs have just blown right by me because they're just not important. What's important to me is the ability of the bike and how it makes you feel. For my height, 6'2", 220, arms like an orangutan. I think I would like just a little bit of a rise. I might be able to accomplish that just by rolling these bars forward slightly. Something I would do if I were to take this for a really long-term demo type test thing, I would definitely set up the ergonomics for me. You can tell I'm in a pretty good mood because you know, this bike just does it to you. I was in a great mood yesterday and a great mood today. This bike, it'll bring a smile to your face, that's for sure. So fairly easy, nicely groomed, hard packed. The bike's doing just fine. Just fine. The suspension almost feels shift. It's like the bumps are hitting hardish, it feels. I don't know a lot about suspension. I just know that once you have it dialed in, it's a dream. But I mean, that being said, it's definitely planted. It keeps throwing the tires back down to the ground, so you're not pogo sticking, which is good. But I'd like to say, even with the subpar tires, she's planted. She's feeling very planted, very stable. All right, so this section's a little bit looser and a little bit choppier, but the bikes just handle it fine. It's hard to make out all the potholes with the shadows in here, so you have to take my word for it. And again, I'm not wanting to go super hardcore aggressive, right? I'm just casually strolling through the forest. The bike definitely has a lot more to give me, that's for sure. If I wanted it, there's a lot more to have. Traction control works well. Tried to purposely spin out there, and it wouldn't let me. I can see this bike being a lot of fun in the right hands. Someone with a lot more off-road experience on a larger bike than I. Woo. But you know what? It's yeah, it's doing great. Everything's just so butter smooth on it too. I know it's new, and that's probably a lot of it, but butter smooth. And I've also noticed, this is just occurring to me now, with all the bumps and jarring and banging and all that stuff, nothing's rattling. Nothing, no engine bits are rattling, no fairings are rattling, indicators aren't bouncing all over the place, TFT's still right there, mirrors are steady. So that goes to the solid build. The brakes are great. They're not too grabby. They're just grabby enough. At least for me anyways. I should say that all of these thoughts and impressions are mine and mine alone, just based on me and who I am as a rider and stuff. And you shouldn't be taking them for dogma, that's for sure. But yeah, would I like to throw all my gear on here and go and do a big old adventure on this thing? Absolutely. Loose around here. A lot of loose rocks. Yeah, this is good times. Good times. One thing about it too is you're going a lot faster than you think you are. It's deceiving. And I think that's just because everything is so butter smooth. Yeah, I definitely want to roll the bars forward at least. Not get some small risers on it. But I like the height of the pegs and where they are. I don't like the size of them. They're too small. And then they got rubber. They got to get the rubber padding out of there. But the location and the body, the style of the body, I can totally clamp on with my lower legs and knees. Just clamp right in there and lock right into the bike. It feels really good. Really secure. I think they did a good job with the exhaust too. Not necessarily the design of it, but I guess where else would it go? It's not like a dirt bike can go around the side. I don't know. But I like the exhaust note. I like the sound of it. They did a good job on that. It's just growly enough. This is very in here bumpy and wet, mucky, and those tires are handling pretty good actually, those little 910s, so not too bad. wants to run. Oh yeah, that is kilometers per hour, not miles per hour, in case you all were wondering. Yeah, she's perfectly capable on the gravel. Absolutely. 100%. But seriously, what a great weapon and choice for long distance travel, man. Long distance adventures, especially when you're going forest service roads or BBRs, things like that. And you got to jump onto the highway every now and again. What a great weapon this thing is. Oh, there's a washroom up here. Excellent. Yeah, so now that I've spent a little bit of time with this thing on the dirt, I can feel my confidence level increasing, getting more comfortable with the bike. So yeah, I can see myself totally growing into this and tossing this thing around. Absolutely. Because for the most part, I mean, it's hard to describe, but you know, when we're clipping along, I could be on the CRF, I could be on Lucy, no problem. It feels the same. There's only certain times you'll hit one bump or you'll hit a rut just slightly different than you would on the CRF, and then you notice, then you remember, oh yeah, right, I'm on a bigger bike. Slowing down, you notice the weight, because if you have the mass and it wants to slow down real fast. And this is all in gravel mode, by the way, too. So that's one thing I noticed with the speedometer. Those roadside speed monitors, there was a 4-kilometer difference between the two of them. With this one saying I was going much faster than the radar did. Right out of the box, this bike, right out of the box, heck yeah. What a nice spot, eh? But I just wanted to stop here quickly and talk about the Transalp. We'll start off with maybe the things I'm not keen about, and one of those, the elephant in the room. I mean, it's not ugly by any means. I just wish that they had have gone with more of a throwback to the original Transalp look. That would have been cool. This is very CB500X-ish, which, I mean, there's no problem with that either. It's a good looking bike. I just personally would have liked to seen a little more of a retro vibe on that. Sort of a nod to its predecessor. There's no protection under the bike at all. Skid plate, factory skid plate at least would have been nice. And the fender for me, although has, you know, some room under there, is a little too low. I would like to see a high fender kit on that for sure. That would be something I would do. What else? Yeah, lack of protection, and that leads into the build quality itself is great. The materials, though, I'm wondering if they're a little bit on the cheaper side. I unfortunately did have a tip over in the driveway, and this is from hitting gravel. It went over on this side. Well, that's another thing I don't like. Here goes my brain all over the place. The kickstand is too long. About a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch too long, because I had it in the driveway and I had my gear up here. That's one reason why I don't have all the gear up here, because it came very top heavy. All the gear up top became very top heavy and would just want to tip over. And most of our roads, as you know, are cambered like this. So when you go to, you know, pull over to the side of the road or whatever, I've done it a couple times, you actually have to go and face the other way, the opposite way traffic, in order to get the bike to lean. With the camber, even just a slight camber, you get to stand it up on the kickstand, and it's pretty much upright and it wants to tip over. So I believe the kickstand is a little too long. I'm not trying to cover my butt for this here, but the plastics, this is just from landing on gravel, just from a stationary tip over, and the plastics scratched up pretty good. This is all mud from today, but we hit here, a little bit of scratch here, just a small scratch here, but all of this aluminum here, very cheap, very weak, and you know, a lever is a lever. So obviously bark busters need to go on here. Apologies to Norm and the guys for that. When this happened, I was gutted, man. I felt like vomiting. I could not believe my eyes. I had simply just gotten off the bike to go and lock the house door because I'd forgotten to lock the door, and I no sooner got 2 steps away than I heard a big thunk, and there she was laying on her side. Having said that, I can pick her up. So I did get her up, and I mean, it's obviously heavier than my CRF, but I was able to get it up with all the gear on there. I didn't have to take any gear off, so that's nice to note. As far as an adventure bike goes, you can have all of your gear on there, and away you go. You know, other than that, the fit and finish is really great. Oh yeah, we're on the things I don't really like. The exhaust needs to be high slung. It's too low. It needs to be up there. It needs to get up here somehow. So extend and then get the can up here someplace. Especially if you're going to be doing some serious off-roading, serious adventuring, and you come to river crossings and stuff. I've done some on the CRF where you know, the water's almost as tall as the tires, and you know, you're going to drown your bike. What else? You know, there's really not a lot of things I don't like about it. And those really, the protection is a no-brainer, is an obvious no-brainer. The others are just cosmetics, things I really, well, I like the bike in general. I really do. I like everything about the bike. I don't like the tires it came with. It would be nice if it just came off the showroom floor adventure ready. So a little bit more of aggressive tire, a skid plate, and some crash bars. That would be all. But then if they did that, the price point goes up, right? Yeah, away you go. Plus, I guess the nice thing about not coming with those things is it leaves it up to the individual, the purchaser, to put what they want on there. So that's, I guess, I don't know. I just would like to have seen it. I know that if I was to purchase this, that would be one of the first things I'd be going after right away. Now, on the highway test, I did mention the windscreen, and I felt it was too short. So for my height at 6'2", so when I do sit on here, there, I'm sitting like this. This is where I sit, and in between 70 to 90 kilometers an hour, the wind comes up, and it's all right here. So yes, it hits me in the face. The weird thing is, once you pass that 90K and you get up to 100K, which most of our highways around here are 90 to 100K, once you pass 90, it's like it pushes the wind even further. So as you hit the highway speed, there's no problem at all. You do get a lot of wind here in your arms, in through here, and I noticed bugs were hitting here. I was getting no bugs in the face, but I was getting bugs all over my arms. A little bit wider, you can get some aftermarket wings for there, would be handy. Another thing I noticed is when you're riding, the fairing brings the wind out, but it creates this vortex or this cyclone or whatever it is right here. And I found, even though like the CRF has nothing, and the legs all through there, but I found because all of this is protected and this isn't, I found my thighs were always cold, if that makes sense. You really noticed it there, and it was churning and burning so bad. I've got a pocket on my pants, my other pants I was wearing, and it was taking that pocket and pulling it open, and that's usually where I keep my phone, so I had to put my phone up in here. So that's a fairing design thing. I don't know if that would be mitigated with some crash bars that would break that up a little bit. I'm not sure, but that's just something I noticed. The motor is motor and transmission is butter smooth. It's, yeah, I mean, it's a Honda, right? Not once did I ever find I was lacking for power today, ever. That's off-road and keeping it tame, right? Not my bike. And she was super happy, as I mentioned, to just cruise along in 4th gear at 60 to 66 kilometers an hour. Ate up all the bumps, ate up all the gravel, and did her thing. No complaints there at all. The brakes are great. They're not too strong, they're not too soft, they're just right. In true Honda fashion, they've just hit everything right in the middle. Right in the middle. I think that's about it. I did notice my own personal self, I prefer to use clutch over quick shifter off-road. That's just me. I like playing with the clutch while I'm riding. But everything else about this bike is pretty spot on, pretty good. A couple of minor little things there to take care of to get her true adventure worthy. But you know, for a bike that's right off the showroom floor, right out of the box, yep, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. That's one thing that I have said a couple times is this bike, it inspires me to go. It makes me want to ride it. I want to ride it and I want to go exploring. And yeah, it inspires me to do that and fills me with the confidence to do that, knowing that it can go just absolutely anywhere. So, am I going to get rid of the CRF and purchase this one? No, I'm never going to get rid of the CRF. Would I add this one to my stable? Absolutely. Like I said, there's a few things to do to it. I'd put some Motos on there, skid plate, crash bars, hand guards. Really, that's about it. And then she'd be a really good long distance adventurer. Shouldn't say tour. She's a mile muncher for sure. I'm at what am I at? Yeah, I have put 700 kilometers on this thing in 2 days, and I still have another 150 or so to go till I get home, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. Well done, Honda. Well done. And just before I leave here, I want to give Norm at Vi Powersports a very huge shout out. Thank you so much for allowing me to take this thing out for a few days and just, you know, review it, test it, play with it, get to know it. Really, 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 truly, I cannot express how much I appreciate this opportunity. You guys watching at home, if you're ever on Vancouver Island in the Nanaimo area, and you need any kind of service on your bikes, any kind of parts, any help, whatever, even if you just want to stop in and say hello, go and see the guys at Vi Powersports. They're super great group, super helpful, super knowledgeable, and they do more than just Hondas. They do BMWs now too. Used inventory, just a great bunch of guys. And I'd like to add that this is not sponsored, so Norm just lent me this out of the kindness of his heart. So again, I thank you, Norm. And I'm not getting paid for it. So this is just me, my own thoughts on the bike. Take them for what they're worth. Like I said, I'm not into all the technical jargon, the horsepower, the torque. I'm not into the numbers. I'm not into the math. I'm into the feeling. I'm into what do you get personally out of this ride? What do you get out of your motorcycle? I don't care how many horsepower it has. I don't care how fast it is. I care about your state of mind when you're riding it, what it does for you. And you know, this bike in a nutshell, it just makes me happy. It makes me happy. It makes me want to go and see the world, is what it does. And I think that's what Honda was trying to do. And if it is what they're trying to do, then they hit the nail on the head. And that's it. I'm going to go home now. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Not your typical review, right? I know something a little different, but hey, if you stuck around to the end and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, or whatever, throw them down in the comment section below. And yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. That is what actually pays for the fuel to get out and do this stuff. And yeah, anyways, really appreciate you watching. And until next time, let's get out there and ride.